Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the 2025 MEAC Basketball Tournament Postgame Press Conference. With us now is North Carolina Central head coach Lavelle Moten and players Isaac Parson, Perry Smith Jr., and Po'boy King. We will begin with opening remarks from Coach Moten, followed by questions from the media.
Wow. I'm relatively speechless. I'm getting too old for this now. It feels a little different after these games now. But MEAC basketball in March, man, is survive and advance. And, we played this team 3 times this year, and every game has come down to the last possession, 2 of them went into overtime. Stan does an outstanding job. I love Robinson, man, but I'm so glad this kid is gone because I'm just tired of seeing him. And I'm glad Smith is gone, too. So kudos to those 2 young men. They represented this league in high fashion, quality, high character guys, and so my hat's off to them. Obviously, I thought we got off to a decent start. We didn't come up with 50-50 balls, and I thought that kept them around. We were fortunate that Smith got 3 fouls early, but I don't think we capitalized. And I was telling these guys earlier that we got to fight for every inch this time of March. A lot of these young men haven't won championships in their life, so they're relatively new and it's foreign to them. So it's kind of my job to educate them along the way through the process. So our pregame and postgame was just all about fighting for that extra inch. And I told them it's going to come down to one possession. They made some significant plays at significant times, and so did we. And it was a backbreaker when Robinson hit the corner 3. It was off a janky play. We just didn't come up with the rebound. We called timeout, and I trusted this young man over here on my left to put the ball in his hands. That's what he do. And the rest is history, so we up here. So hats off to these young men, man. I get a lot of credit for coaching, but, they make me look really good at times. Questions? Well, we've always known him. He's from Kinston, North Carolina, so that town means a lot to me. One of my dear friends since I was 12 was Jerry Stackhouse, and his family and Stack are really cool. So we always known about him. We followed him at Winston, and now with this portal, it's just kind of a match made in heaven. He's played there for 4 years, so now we had to adjust to how we do things here, and it's been a difficult transition for him, as it would with anyone. But he's continued to buy in. Sometimes he's got frustrated, but hopefully he can feel confident now because he is the one guy on our team with championship pedigree. And so that's why he makes significant plays at significant times. Even bigger with the free throws down the stretch that he made, right? And so, those things get lost in the heat of the battle because everybody loves the sexy stuff, the last-second shot. But, both of these young men went to that free throw line and converted as well. And we were 21 for 25 tonight, so that's probably why we won the game.
Parson, for you, won the championship, came here, you went to Justin, but having the experience that you feel like, is something that you can impart to the team and just talk about, being trusted to take the last shot and how the whole moment.
Definitely, just been there before. Just got to stay solid, move on to the next game, and just stay prepared in the scout.
Coach, can you talk about rebounding? Through like about 3/4 of the game, they were getting a lot of second shots today. How much of a factor was the rebounding about late in the game? It seemed like it got to a point where he starting to get their misses, getting the rebounds. How much that factor that played late?
It played a huge factor, throughout the game in its entirety. I thought they were able to stay in the game because they were rebounding, the ball going through our hands, and, I jumped on this guy early because I expect more from him, and then I jumped on this guy a little after I jumped on him because, that's not talent. That's just want. That's will, right? And it's man, it's March. Y'all want to check out at 11 tonight or go home at 11? So the choice is yours, but we can't get on the bus and go back to this hotel talking about coulda, shoulda, woulda when a loose ball is in front of us. That's anybody's basketball. And so that's the mentality we had to have. Some of them just went through their hands, and I don't know if it was the stage and the fright in the middle of the game, but towards the end, we came up with some critical rebounds. Now, with that said, we didn't get the final rebound, and that's why Robinson got the corner three. But, that's the way the ball bounces, and, hats off to them. They wanted to. They didn't want to go home neither, right? And I got an awful lot of respect for those guys and staying in that program and what they've done. And, they fought. They fought tooth and nail. And, this was just good MEAC basketball and good March MEAC basketball. And that's how it is this time of year. And trust me, it's not going to be any easy tomorrow.
It seemed like midway, like running, seeing mini-mark on down, y'all started to control the boards better.
Yeah.
And you made them force a lot of tough shots inside.
Yeah.
Just kind of backhand.
Right,
You know,
right.
stuff like that. And I thought, I just wanted to get your thoughts on how much that played a part in y'all able to kind of maintain the lead, like make the game to.
Yeah. Through the scout, like, we trust our scout. Like, we scout hard. Like, we spend countless hours on, and they'll tell you, taking the left hand away, the right hand away, just the intangibles, the nuances associated with the game. Now, the flip side of that is once you take that away, now you just got to guard. And it just comes down to him versus you, right? And so oftentimes they might take a shot that we wanted them to take, but you got to finish the possession by securing the rebound. We got a team tomorrow that lead the league in rebounding, right? And it's almost like they got 10 people out there trying to go rebound the basketball, so we got to be much better in that aspect to have a chance tomorrow. And we will. Like, we'll come out and we compete and we'll go on and try to clean up some things, but it's going to come down to your heart. That's just what it is, and that's how it is this time of year. That's the part about having 8 teams in the MEAC. You're not fooling them, and they not fooling you, right? You seeing each other. They calling out our plays. We calling out theirs. There's only so much X's and O's in fooling someone that you can do. It's just going to come down to who wanted the most.
Coach, can you talk a little about Perry being used 7 for 9 days, 8 free throw line? Can you talk about how big of a presence he had?
Yeah, I don't know, but what this young man been going through, man. For him to just be out here still on the team says a lot about his character, man. I wouldn't be here. If I promise you that, if I was going through what he went through, I couldn't. So he got an awful lot on his shoulders, man, and I keep him in my prayers. And sometimes I just feel bad yelling at him just because he's here. And I don't mean to get emotional, man, but you coach these kids, you love these kids, and then one day they come knock on your door when real life has hit them. And sometimes there's nothing you can do as a coach, and then now it just got to go in God's hands. And he's been a fighter, man. What he's been going through with his family and the personal stuff, man, like I'm just proud of him. Just for him to show up. I know he had 22 and 6, but I always try to tell him, like, now you're playing for a bigger purpose. And if he want to share that, then I'll let him do that. But my grandmother once told me the 2 most important days of your life is the day that you were born and the day you figure out why. I think he's figured out why now. And so I think he has some angels protecting him and watching over him, and, he got a different light and spirit on him. So you can talk about it, young fella. Go ahead.
My little baby sister is battling cancer at this time. So right now as a big brother, it's kind of hard for me. I try to use basketball as an escape. Coach Moen has helped me throughout this time, give me mentorship and just telling me stuff I need to know. He also brought up things like, your mom's not always going to save you. And I kind of took that, and ran with it. Like, I have to learn how to, when we go through situations in life, I have to learn how to get through it and know that nobody feels sorry for you, no matter what you go through. So Coach Moen has done a great job of coaching me, even though I'm going through stuff. And I'm not the type of person to put pressure on anybody with the stuff that I go through. So I kind of just just cope with it and just kind of go about my day and just try to be better the next day and do what I need to be asked of me. So it's very tough because I am the oldest child, and I'm their leader, and they look up to me. So for my little sister to go through that, and me and her are very close, and my family is very devastating. So it's a very hard time, but I'm using us as a team and the people around me, the great support system that we have, to get away from that and also play good for my sister because she's watching right now.
Yeah.
All right, Coach, I kind of piggyback. I just want to ask how happy you were with the resilience and just the mental toughness. Even on the other side of that,
Man,
y'all
what you
had
talking
so
about?
many These games like that this season, but to have you guys finish tonight, how good did it feel?
You know, we got a quote in our locker room that says, adversity introduces a man to himself. You know, everybody's tough and claim this and that until something happens to them. And so life is about 90% of it is, 10% is what happens to you. 90% of it is how you respond. We would probably be the number one seed in this conference. I think we lost 7 games at the buzzer this year. And I was just wondering, like, good gracious, like, what is going on? But you just keep your head down and you just fight and you just fight and you fight because, as you mentioned, we've been on the other side of it. And we're so accustomed to being on the other side of it that when you on the negative end of it, you just like, whoa, like what's happening here? And, in this portal era, in this NIL era, like things have changed. What required you to be a good coach 5 years ago, that ain't the requirement no more. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, whoever got the most money, just buy a team, assemble a team. Each year you got 14 new guys, you're learning each other. And so that process, we just have to trust it, not to sound cliche, but we had to trust it and we had to keep that spirits up and knowing, look, we're still responsible and we still can control what we can control. And we lost to them at the buzzer at their place. And we lost to Norfolk, and we lost to Morgan, and we lost to, I can go on and on and on with teams that we lost to at the buzzer. But tonight, those ties turn. And I think when you're loyal, you're faithful to this process, and you respect this game, and just tie your boots on and keep working each day, then the game rewards you also. And so kudos to these young men for fighting and remaining mentally tough, because that's what it's going to be about.
Just run through that last 7.7 seconds. At first, you had the ball, you lost.
Oh, my goodness, I was about to kill him.
Yeah, so the play was for me to just come around. He kind of threw it behind me, so I almost lost it. I just came off, see what they was going to do. They messed up the stay. After that, I looked up at the clock. I think it was like 2.5. Coach Mom said, go score, go score. So then, I just know I had to get it up, turn the corner, and go score. And then I was just looking, waiting for it to see if it was going to drop. And then it dropped. So, yeah.
That was an interesting segment because we just had these film sessions, right, at practice, and I know they get tired of me trying to have these teachable moments and everything, but y'all probably watch so much basketball where it's 5 seconds or 4 seconds left and somebody take an unnecessary three and just rush, and I'm like, what in the world? So I make this young fella right here come and watch me, come and watch games with me, and then he comes to practice, and it was crazy because I had him at practice one day, and it was 6 seconds on the clock, and we just put a scenario on the clock, and I told our guys, like, it's 6 seconds. We're going the length of the court. How many dribbles do you have? And they didn't know, so I was like, wow. So I let him coach them so they can get, it's 6 seconds. How many dribbles do you get, brother? 5. Right? So what you get, the amount of dribbles, 1 less second than the clock. So that's what I told him. It's like, it's 7 seconds. You get 6 dribbles. Don't come out half court and just panic and heave something. Get all the way there and just make it happen. So those segments came back into play, man, and it seemed like the ball just sat on the rim. Afterwards, he told me, he said, Daddy, that was just like when Kawhi beat Philadelphia. I said, I know, bro. I'm just looking and I'm rolling, and I know they got footage. I did a backflip or something, hurt the whole side. I'm just crazy. But these kids going to kill me out here, man. But I love it, man. So we look forward to surviving and advancing.
Talking about your son there, which you bring him to a lot of the home games at Central. Can you talk about how important it is bringing him here to the MEAC tournament?
Yeah, like it's, man, I when I got hired, I was the youngest coach in the country. To be honest, it wasn't a popular decision. It sound like it's popular now. It wasn't popular. A lot of feedback and a lot of pushback, a lot of resistance from folks. Some folks supported or whatever. And to be honest, I was scared, right? I didn't have any Division I experience, so right after my wedding, I was getting married at the time, and I never went on the honeymoon. So I would just go in the office and just work, because I was so scared. Then I had a baby girl, Brooke, and then I had him, and I wasn't spending as much time, and then life humbled me. I got a call after we won the first championship, and he was burnt. He burnt his head. And then I had to make a decision to go to the NCAA tournament or go to the UNC Burn Center with him. So I'm sitting in there, and I'm looking at my child. His whole face is burnt off. They wiped the solution off, and it was an interesting perspective from me, because when we won the championship, it was a bunch of confetti and everybody was around. But in that hospital that day, it was no fans. It was just us, right? And I just had to deal with that as a father. So I just had to make a decision: do I go coach this team, or do I be like my father and walk out on him? Because I didn't want him to Google me when he was 10 years old and see that his father left him when he needed him the most. And this is where a good woman come into play. She told me, she said, listen, you teach these kids and you tell these kids all the time about being persistence and persevering and being tough. You need to go coach them. And she said, we'll win another one, so you go handle them in San Antonio, and I'll handle him in the hospital. So that was great, but after that moment, it was like life had hit me, so I take him everywhere that I go. Because when this all in, it just ends, right? And fans are going to be fans, but he's always going to be my child. That's never going to change. So I just want him to always understand that. And he's a basketball player himself, too, so. He's a basketball player, too, so, you know, he's sitting on the side now. He's learning, and he's figuring this stuff out, man. So, you know, VJ Moulton, Lavelle Moulton Jr., y'all. Say what's up to him.
Any other questions for the media? Okay.
That's
Coach, players, any last comments?
Thank you, guys. I'll see you tomorrow. Get some rest. Get home safe.